The journey is conversations with ordinary people about stories of transformation and how we may have had setbacks in our life and how we persevered through those, how we've learned from those obstacles, and how they've maybe helped us on our path today.
Well, welcome to The Journey. My name is Kevin Polkey, and I am the host of The Journey. And today we are going to do a reflection. And what I want to just touch base on, and just for a short time period, about the idea of developing resilience. I have jumped into studying what does it take to develop resilience initially with students within the school system. Later, that changed into not just student age, but young adults as well as all ages. Of what are some of the components that help in developing resilience. My original work regarding that in the studying of it started with in 2017. I had an opportunity, or I was asked to help out a school district that had recently lost one of their students to suicide, and that I was going to be working with the staff as well as the students, and then some of the parents. But one of the stipulations at that time with the talk was that I wasn't to use the word suicide, because the family had not come to a place where they were ready to talk about how the student had died. And so, not knowing for sure what I was going to do at that time period, I started looking into contemplating and what different way would I be able to share a message of hope. And during some contemplation and some meditation, what kind of occurred to me was that if we were in a place of darkness, where that darkness was lying to us and telling us that it's always going to be this way, and that sense of despair and hopelessness came, if we could somehow hang on, that we have gotten through other things before, as the sense of resilience had been created and developed, then maybe this time we could also build off of that, and then reject those lies and not succumb to those lies of the darkness. That led into doing some further research about what were educators doing that had some success in being able to develop resilience. And the first thing they said was required was this mindset of gratitude, and being able to focus on being grateful for what is occurring in your life. And I saw that that was a way from being Kevin focused, or being focused on something from a narrow perspective, to having more of an open mind, or an open focus, or other focused. And then reflecting on my own experiences that I have been resilient in, so that I'm more open with that mindset of gratitude, seeing when someone may be struggling as that may be an opportunity for them to develop resilience as well. As I've continued over the years to do more and more workshops on this topic, and developing those workshops, it's also come to me that a foundational belief system of having a growth mindset versus a fixed mindset is also critical, just like the mindset of gratitude is part of that. And so some may refer to that uh, in the mindset um, of a growth mindset. It could also be looking at from an aspect of a heart mode or a love mode versus a fear mode, or the mindset of being able to look at life as abundant versus a life of scarcity, or that seeing things in a aspect of being able to grow and develop, and obstacles can be turned into opportunities for growth versus a fear of things being threatening and that somehow I'll be less than. That for me, looking at different people's work, such as Joseph Campbell's with the hero's journey, or Viktor Frankl with the logotherapy and his work in Man's Search for Meaning, or more recent works by Ryan Holiday and The Obstacles the Way, and his other series about modern day Stoicism, or even more recently with Amy Schoenthal's work with the setback cycle, all kind of say a similar type of message of that as we experience things as a setback or a difficulty, that through going by going through these things, we can learn something about ourselves that we wouldn't have learned if we had not gone through it. With that being said, it's not that we go looking for those things or minimize the impact when there are obstacles or setbacks or problems in our life. But how can I look at this as an opportunity while I'm going through it, honoring it for what it is and the experiencing that I'm having, but how can I grow from it and develop that I may not have if I wouldn't have been going through this? Most recently, this has been the opportunity that I have had as I was preparing for a hip replacement surgery, and in the last 8 weeks, been recovering from a hip replacement surgery. Um, that there was definitely at times of leading into the surgery, as well as post surgery, um, have a mindset of, even though I was experiencing discomfort and pain, and frustration and not knowing why certain things were happening, knowing that what things could I do to be able to focus on things that were life giving in my life, even as I was experiencing that discomfort, as well as knowing that there's going to be a time period if I continue doing the physical therapy, continue doing the things that I know that I'm supposed to do, that there will be a recovery aspect of that. And we are getting closer and closer to that now, as the 8 week mark is coming to view. So once again, when we have difficulties, because life does have difficulties in it, that having that mindset in calm times and good times of looking at growth versus a fixed mindset being uh, that things are always a certain way, they're fixed in it. And if something happens, like a setback or an obstacle, that means it's going to be diminishing the things that I do have. So it's this idea of scarcity that I have to try to get as much as I can before it goes away. Where growth is that there's always this mindset of abundance and there's opportunity for growth and development, regardless of what the situation is, even if it isn't maybe physical, maybe it's going to be emotional or spiritual or mental. Once again, as always, I appreciate you being here. And if there is anybody that you think that may be able to benefit from some of the foundational aspects of developing resilience, please pass this on. And I look forward to being with you in the future and next week talking more about resilience.